Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, a weekly gathering of coaches that give one presenter an opportunity to practice a 3-minute pitch and then provide immediate feedback about what works already and things that can be improved. Our coaches include Nathan Gold, pitch coach extraordinaire, hailing from San Francisco, also from San Francisco, Scotty Spursum, pitch coach with a lot of experience with startups and a strong focus on language. We have Michael Marchak joining us from Chicago. He is the CTO of Blue Prism, author and speaker with tremendous insight, especially for the startup world. And then we have a lot of regular attendees. We have Jess Owens, Liederman Duin, Chris Dundon, Debbie Krutik, and new today is Tamara Cole and Dave Alberti. Welcome to Pitch in the Zone. And of course, our main attraction today is Samia Bingham. She is the founder of Flavors, and just the name already makes me drool all over the place. Samira, welcome to Pitch in the Zone.
Thank you so much, Claudio. I really appreciate the opportunity today.
It's a real pleasure having you, and without too much blah blah, let's just get into it. We do not have anybody who's keeping track of the time online here today, but that's not a big deal. I will keep track of it over here and invite you to start whenever you are ready. Samia, the floor is yours.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Samia Bingham, and I am the founder and CEO of Flavors, the WeWork of kitchen spaces. We are the creator of tech-enabled licensed food and beverage incubators to support the launch, sustainment, and expansion of culinary entrepreneurs and their participation in the mobile food ecosystem. The food and beverage industry is ripe for supply chain innovation due to the oversaturation of unhealthy fast food options and the lifestyle changes that people are making to change their eating habits, as well as social distancing initiatives. Culinary entrepreneurs have a wide array of opportunities within their industry, from private chefing, food trucks, ghost kitchen concepts, and consumer packaged good manufacturing. And with this comes the extreme demand for the evolution of the food and beverage sector, to which requires access to licensed commercial kitchens, which is also mandated by local, state, and federal policies. However, the lack of access to licensed commercial kitchens contributes to a mass underrepresentation of minority food and beverage brands to start and expand into larger distribution opportunities due to a lack of access and exposure to resources and capital. So what's that solution? The solution is Flavors. We are providing Maryland health inspected and licensed commercial kitchens for our food and beverage entrepreneurs to grow and expand their business, a digital platform which would provide access to our culinary members to gain opportunities within the local community, as well as business and government opportunities. Minority representation in food and beverage, which is a major issue today. There are not that many minority brands on grocery store shelves, so therefore there is a lack there. And also our newest implementation is the food startup development and support through courses, training, workshops, and seminars to support our food entrepreneurs and the development of their business. The product, self-explanatory, commercial kitchen space as a service, providing shared savory kitchens, a shared confectionery kitchen, workspace, cold freezer and dry storage, conference and meeting rooms, demo kitchen, which is also our private event space, central food pickup depot for members using the delivery app to local delivery service and providers. Our business model, membership only, storage, the test kitchen, and business development. The market size, There are 1,237 food and beverage entrepreneurs locally here in Prince George's County, representing a $71.6 billion industry and a $111.3 billion industry to the worldwide mobile food delivery, also attributed to COVID. Our amazing team, myself, Christopher Bingham, Sabria Ellis, Sid Tanu, and Sydney Davis. Our competition locally is Union Kitchen, which is the major big boy here in the Washington, D.C. region. Also, Mess Hall and a small local kitchen, TPSS Community Kitchen. We've been featured in multiple media coverage. We won local pitch competitions. Robert from Shark Tank awarded us $14,000. And most recently, we won $25,000 from the American Express 100 for $125,000 grant. Our location specifications will be a 15,000 square foot facility located in Prince George's County, Maryland. We have our team already set: architect, kitchen designer, CPA, and attorney. Our planned layout shows the savory kitchen, the lockable freezer storage, the shared confectionery kitchen, and the meeting and training spaces that our members will be able to utilize. The most interesting point is our traction. Right now, we have recruited 44 official members, which have paid a 1-year membership fee to join our community. In exchange for them becoming a founding member, they are also provided with the early bird rates of when we actually open our kitchen in 2021. So right now, 44 members. If we were actually, our doors were open, we would be bringing in about $28,000 per month. And that is just the memberships. And these are based on the different tiers that the members have selected. Our financials and what our projections look like. And this is from a conservative approach for our 5-year outlook. We're looking at $951K in revenue for year 1, and that is with the 44 members that we have already attracted. Our goal is to get to 75 before our doors even open, which actually supersedes our goal of 75 members by the end of year 1, being as though that we're already at the 44 members. Net profit, the first year, $110,000 due to the purchase of the commercial kitchen facility and build out. Year 2, about $786. Year 3, $1.3. Year 4, $1.9. And year 5, a healthy $1.8. Our profit margins here, roughly 45% year 1 and across the board. Our investor ask is $2 million for our seed round at a valuation of $6 million with 25% equity. Our use of funds, $110,000 for the owner contribution. Our commercial real estate purchase is 1.5. Construction design and build out is about 1.2. Commercial kitchen equipment, $421,000. Marketing and opening salaries, $112,000. Working capital, $200,000. For a total project of $3.5 million and a remaining raise of $3.39 million to get our doors open. So why now? Why now? There's limited access. COVID showed us the need and the expansion for food service and local food service. Also the food desert crisis that is rampant in many of our neighborhoods. Too many fast foods, health crisis, and also health department mandates worldwide. So that concludes my presentation. Again, I am Samia Bingham, founder and CEO of Flavors.
All right, Samia, well done, well done. Can you please, thank you, okay. And first of all, congratulations on all of your pitch successes so far, especially getting some money out of Robert from Shark Tank is certainly quite an accomplishment. Well done. There is one obvious that I think most of us here watching today have immediately noticed, and I will turn it over to Michael immediately to elaborate a little bit more on it, but I do believe it's 2 things. Slides contain a lot of information, a lot of words. We'll we can discuss this in a little bit more detail on what might be a better approach. But think about possibly having two decks, one that you're handing out and one that you're using as a backdrop for your pitch.
Sounds good.
Absolutely, yes. And another thing, and Michael, please go into it about the depth, the details, and so on. Michael, the floor is yours. Please take it away from here.
Samia, congratulations on all of your accomplishments with your prior activities. With this particular pitch, I ordered a cupcake and you gave me a wedding cake with way too much frosting. I have a hard time getting through the first piece here because there's so much. And it's not bad to have all of this information because investors are going to want it. One of my initial things, I put comments in the chat so you can look at them later. One of the things, I wasn't sure who you were pitching to start with, so I was trying to understand where we're going to start with and who you were talking to get a better feel for it. You dove right in and read the first, I know you're reading this, read the first part you were talking about, that first slide. Just read it to me.
In the, which slide?
The very first one. You started off, how you started off. Give me the first slide.
Hold on 1 second. The food and beverage industry is ripe for supply chain innovation due to the oversaturation of unhealthy fast food options and the lifestyle changes that people are making to change their eating habits, as well as social distancing initiatives. Keep reading.
It's a good start, but there's a lot there to start with. It's like what you're doing. I don't know who you are. I mean, all the stuff you told me about, all the good things you're doing came way at the end. So by the time I got to the stuff that was like, my personal like interesting about who you are and understanding how I would want to interact with you as an investor, you gave me this giant market overview. You kind of went through different things. You kind of meandered all over the place. Not that it was bad. There's good stuff in there, but I felt like I wasn't getting a good story. And that's probably one of the biggest things that engages us. When we talk about this now, to engage why you're doing this. Hey, we had this thing. We noticed we needed this thing, and we went out to set this here because we saw this need. And now and one of the issues I see now with that you didn't really bring it to home to is this COVID thing. Now with restaurants facing all kinds of issues with their localization and the fact that they be shut down, this whole mobile industry may be a ripe for this growth. But because we have minority interests who aren't able to get access to the kitchens like we created this great thing to allow them to have this access and get into this new way and really take advantage of this potential growth as we come out of COVID. Grab the now. You need to grab the now. You had so many words on so many different slides though that I had a hard time following almost everything you were doing because there were so many things that were there. Like I said, I ordered a cupcake or I wanted a cupcake and I got this big giant wedding cake, which is too much. So you have to have all that stuff as you go to the next stage. When people start asking those questions, those financials were extremely detailed and awesome. I'm glad you had that. As an investor to start out with now, I want to know two things. How much are you asking for? What you're trying to do? And then what do you plan on doing with it as a general idea? You had all those things answered, but it was like in depth of a 5-year plan, a business plan. I don't even know the business plan to start, but I'll look through the slides later or look through an addendum later to get the real down dirty details so I can ask you additional questions. Well, you talked about this here, you gave it all at once and it just started blowing up into this massive thing that after a while I got lost. But okay. I love the concept. I love the story that I was able to pick apart as I went through this whole deck. Good concept, really good concept. And I think you can bring it to life, you personally. But I didn't know enough about you until after we knew more about you to start with from the kind of initial discussions, but I need to know more about you as this discussion, as you're talking to the investors, who you are, why you're doing this, why you're the best person to do this, and then go into it. So I'll stop now because I'm sure there's a lot of other people who have other comments.
That was great. Thank you so much. That was awesome feedback.
Yes, absolutely. As always, Michael, very great, to the point feedback. And I was actually expecting the bucket of water versus glasses analogy, but of course you are the man and you immediately adapt to the cupcakes and wedding cakes. I love it. And right on, right on, right on. Next up, Nathan, what have you noticed? What kind of feedback can you provide to Samia?
Thank you for coming to our session today, Samia. I'm really glad that you did what you just did, because you've just demonstrated how you are literally prepared for almost every single question that an investor can ask you.
Thank you.
But but as Michael said, you definitely don't want to answer all those questions in that initial pitch unless they're telling you to. Some organizations say you must cover these 19 things when you pitch to us, but most of the time they don't. And leaving stuff out will be in your favor, because then you keep people curious, wanting to know more. So the three things I'd like to just put on the table here is, first of all, you have an amazing voice. You're coming across as really compelling, powerful voice, very articulate, your tone, your rhythm. I know Scotty will maybe talk a little bit about that, but you came across as just really knowing what you want to say and how you're saying it. I suspect you're not working with notes, although the notes were on your slides. Anyway, so I'd like to offer my pro bono services to you, one session to help you break down everything you've just done, build it back up, and then make it specific for the audience that you're pitching it to. So that's the first thing. And second thing. And then the third thing, and I'll leave it for everybody else, is when you're going through that litany of things that you are going to do, where are the pictures? Replace all of that with just picture, 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 and don't put them all on the same slide. Like just click, click, click instead of that list.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And of course, as always, great offer to Samia. Samia, please take Nathan up on this offer. You will walk out of that absolutely at a new level. And then once he's done with you, please feel free to book another session with me as well, because I can certainly help you with the slides. There is no question in my mind. I've already had some ideas while I was looking through. Awesome. Up next, Scotty, what have you noticed and what kind of constructive feedback do you have for Samia?
Good morning. At Samia, take them up on their offers. It's really great to see all the good work you've done. And I think with a little more polishing, it'll become even more effective. One thing in terms, you do have a lovely voice. Your speed was pretty fast and there was so much data on each slide. It was really hard for me to follow. And I'm a big note taker, as my peers know. But so it was hard for me to take a few good notes while I was trying to look at you, listen to you, and see what's on the slide. So in this circumstance, more is less, both in terms of what you say verbally and in what you show on the slide. And there's a great power to a pause, which I'm trying to illustrate now, in that people typically listen a little more carefully when there's a pause. And it's a great gift that you give to your audience, because it gives them the opportunity to not only hear the words that you're saying, but comprehend the data, because you're the expert and we're trying to learn from you, right? We're trying to understand, why you and what's your secret sauce. And to that end, why did you get into this work? I didn't catch that. I heard in the beginning, we are the WeWork of kitchen spaces. Mm-hmm. And then, which I like the concept of WeWork. WeWork's had some troubles though. Right. So I wonder if that's something that you might want to find another great metaphor for that.
We've thought about that. That has come up in a couple of conversations.
Yeah.
It's still been working just to kind of catch you so you know exactly what it is right off the bat. So we'll definitely figure that part out when I work with Nathan and Claudia.
Yeah. Well, and also I'm familiar with the concept of cloud kitchen, but I'm not as familiar with ghost kitchen. And I'm wondering if I don't know if the cloud kitchen is a better, I couldn't quite catch it all. I've worked with some cloud kitchen company, another cloud kitchen company, so I get how they work, but I couldn't relate it to how you work. So So can you just tell us briefly how did you, and I missed the early portion. How did you get involved in this?
So I was a federal employee with DOD for about 10 years. I was a contracting specialist. So I was on the other side of the table. When I wanted to leave my good government job, I wanted to figure out a niche that was not so saturated in the government market. So I left my government job to go into consulting in 2017. That consulting led me to acquisition consulting contracts where we managed food service operations, concessions operations in government facilities. So I was able to bid and win 2 subcontracts in that lane. And what we do is the program management side, and we partner with local chefs and caterers to actually execute on the food portion. So the issue came when the local chefs and the food trucks that we were partnering with, they didn't have licensed commercial kitchens. And so that was the main challenge. We couldn't get them onto the contracts with us, and we had to go outside, mostly to restaurants that were already licensed. So that was the purpose of starting Flavors
And you started it when?
in 2016.
16, okay. Which is actually kind of great because you already have the experience and the logistics management expertise to be able to solve the problems that are really big right now. So I didn't hear any of that in the presentation, and I find that really interesting. Like that to me is like, aha, okay, now I see even more why you're the right person. There'd be a great way to factor that in. I think that was it. I just, again, like there's too much on, there's too much on the plate. The wedding cake analogy and the cupcake is great, but it's like if there's too much on your plate, it's some of the food's just gonna fall off, right? If you put too much on. So yeah, but great job. Wonderful. Sorry.
The slides, that has definitely been the challenge of how much to put on the slides. And we've gone back and forth on this. So I definitely know that is an area that I wanted you guys and ladies feedback on.
Yeah. Well, and as Nathan and Claudia said, if you can tailor your presentations to specific audiences, and then kind of put the pieces together when you need them, because less is more. You can always answer more in the Q&A unless it's specific. So great.
Absolutely. Less is more, the key words here. And if I looked at the time, you almost went 6 minutes, Samia. For a 3-minute pitch, that's a little bit too long. And of course, again, the purpose behind a pitch like that, 90 seconds, 2-3 minute pitch, 5-minute pitch, is to open doors, not to close, not to sell, but to open doors. So we don't have too much time on the clock today. Time is just running away from us. So let's quickly go through the other participants here. Jess, what have you noticed? You've been in that seat before. Please take it away.
First of all, I love it. I want to connect after this call so we can talk longer, because I have a lot of people I want to connect you to in the restaurant scene in DC. I think you're going to crush it. This is such a needed thing. I've worked a little bit with small food startups, and I know how hard it is. And that's for, people that can go out and spend their own money, and they have the resources, and they still can't do it. So I love it. It's great. The second comment I have, show us some of your founders, right? Show us some of the products that they're already producing and those beautiful, foods and things. Just show us some of that. That to me is wonderful. There's a company called Whisked, and I don't know if you know it's a cookie company, and she's in DC too. And I want to connect you guys. She just went through this, built the big space right before COVID. She couldn't find kitchens. It's exactly what you're, so she's wonderful. But otherwise I love it. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I love it when these things come together like this, when Pitch in the Zone becomes more than just feedback for pitching, but also future networking. I love it. Liederman.
Yes,
what have you noticed?
Samia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Claudia. Yes, Samia, I felt the energy. I got this notion that if somebody can pull this off as you, that you have the knowledge and you can do it. You had me doing math in a short pitch, which then would distract me from from all the things that you that wanted to say. So for a 3-minute pitch, I mean, not to repeat what everybody else said, but I think you have a social driven mission kind of type of business, and I think you can add more to that, to the good reasons why this is so needed, why is the right time because of technology, and the ecosystem of restaurants changing because of COVID and people adapting to new ways. So basically kind of bringing, the crisis brought opportunities, and I'm tapping on that opportunity because it is needed. The market wants it, and it's socially the right thing to do. And I have the credentials, the knowledge to do this, and I can show you who believes in me or who believes in this mission, and then Robert and some others, right? But I think again, less on too much information, more in the reasons why, the why you are passionate about this, and some people are backing you up on this. I think I believe I agree with Jess. I have a feeling you're going to crash it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I love the positivity, and Jess is just waving her hand there. You have another comment, please. Go ahead.
Oh, and it just escaped me. It was something that Lederman was tapping into. Oh, what was it? Oh, God. Oh, yes. I have wanted for many years a business. I mean, this was one of my other plans. Ready-made food for busy moms. Pick it up. It's delicious. It's not pizza. It's not, there's like 2 options. So let me come by, pick it up, and go home. That's all I want. The Whole Foods selection, terrible. There's nowhere, right? None of these places exist, and that would be amazing. So consider that for busy moms who just had babies. Just give me the food. Let me go pick up the food and give it to someone else. I can't cook, right? So, okay, sorry.
Great, thank you. Thank you for this additional comment, Jess. And Chris, what have you noticed, and what can you provide to Samia as a feedback to improve?
Well, I must say, I like everybody's comments, but what struck me was a little, I don't know if I call it outside of the box, but a little different. Michael in particular threw a lot of stuff at Samia, and she politely listened, which is what you're supposed to do. And then she responded with a very positive yes and attitude. And I haven't seen that in a long, long while on a real platform. Most people get defensive and start to explain this, that, and the other thing. And she just smiled and said, yes, and we're going to take care of that. And that goes an awfully long way.
Thank you.
Really all I got.
Yeah, absolutely. Great feedback as well. And I think that's what we all felt, is this energy. And that's, I think, why we all really believe that you will go far with this concept. Debbie, you've been in that seat last week. What comments do you have for Samia?
Good morning. I think it sounds wonderful. I was thinking about, gosh, it'd be great to have it here in Durango, because I have a lot of family in restaurants, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh. The one comment I'll make is what Scotty said. When you had your slide there at the end, which showed the team, and I saw that you were like DOD, program manager and all that. And then how, I mean, that really, your story that Scotty brought out of you about how you started all this really pretty much answers it all. And that really much made it more sense, because like you said, all the other part, it was just so hard to keep track. But right there in your background, it really sounds like a great idea, and you're definitely the right person to bring it to life. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Dave, have you noticed anything that you can provide back to Samia as well?
Sure. Yeah, thanks for presenting today, Samia. It's really nice to meet you and hear your energy and what you're up to. Up front at the very beginning, I kind of like to build a little bit on what Claudio and Liederman mentioned, which is, I think it was Claudio anyway, about the, why you're doing this. You start out with the problem and everything, so it's clear. I just think it would help us get to know you a little bit, maybe in the context of a little why story,
I didn't take you on a date first. I just went right. We just went home.
Kind of like a 3-minute meetup is like it's a long elevator ride. We're going to the top of the Burj Khalifa.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love
Dave.
that. Take us on a date. Yeah.
Thank you. And I also have Dan Schwartz on the line. You joined us late. I'm not sure how much of the pitch that you've actually seen, but if you have any feedback very quick to Samia, please take it away.
Sure. Yeah, just really quick. I only missed the first slide or two. I'm not going to repeat everybody else's comments. The less is more is kind of the big one. But since you showed me the financials and I kind of do some editing and I have an eye for those things, I didn't notice in there since you put in how much the ask is. Maybe you're not supposed to suggest how much you're going to give up for that ask. I know there's Nathan shaking his head. But the other thing I noticed is in your financials, year 5, your profit goes down. That's kind of a no-no, at least in my opinion. You should be growing. This is a minor thing. Also, I'm a fellow Marylander. I lived in Maryland for 22 years before I moved over here 16 years ago. So I just wanted to add, and then the comment Jess made about busy moms and stuff, I would suggest busy people. I was a single father pretty much for a while, and I don't like cooking. That's why one of the benefits of living over here. It's cheaper to eat out or carry in, let other people do the cooking. But great idea. And I'll disagree with someone saying they didn't like the WeWork analogy. You can kind of joke, it's WeWork, we work for this, because everybody knows what WeWork is, partly because they're a little bit infamous for the extravagant spending by the CEO and all that kind of stuff from SoftBank, but people know the story. Maybe I don't know if joking is appropriate, but you kind of make the comment that the office suite idea, like WeWork, not they went and overspent. But all in all, it was great stuff. Great stuff. You got the whole business plan pretty much in 6 minutes.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Dan. And last, do you have any comments that we haven't covered yet?
I think everybody covered most of it. It's great pitch. Also, I'm from Maryland, so not sure. Have you talked to TEDCO before?
So I've talked to TEDCO before, and I talked to Mac McDonald right before he left TEDCO, and he said that in order for TEDCO to really get involved, they wanted to see more of the tech piece. And so that was the reason we added the app in as one of the features for the members to see, but we have not revisited that conversation since we built out more of the concept of the app. But that's an awesome idea that I'll get back on that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into that too. So
I'll connect you. If you want to connect, I'll definitely connect you with the people.
Yeah. Let's connect. Yeah.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And with that, we're actually coming to the end of today's session. We went a little bit long, but I think it was worthwhile because the feedback coming here today, again, was simply superb. Samia, I've recorded this session. In about 2-3 hours, you will receive an email with a link to YouTube where it is stored. And I encourage you go back because so much feedback was now presented. And I believe that when you are going to listen to your pitch today, again, with the feedback that you have already received, it will click and so many pieces will fall into place. And again, please take up Nathan on his generous offer, book a session with me. And of course, I also would like to invite you to then come back later on, maybe in the second, third week of January. We are pretty solidly booked until then, but I would love to see the next version, the 3-minute version that time, of the new and improved pitch. So final question to you, was it helpful to you? And if so, what did you take away from today?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, the diversity of the room. So normally I'm in rooms with people that look like me when I'm pitching. So, but the opposite is that the investors look like the room that I'm sitting in here, that's sitting here. So it's amazing to get the feedback from those that we are seeking, you know, the investment, the opportunities, the networking, and the connection. So I absolutely appreciate all of the advice. Chris and I, my husband, he is online as well. He's working in the background. So we will review the slides and the feedback, and we'll get on it. And Nathan and Claudia will definitely reach out for that support as well. So I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much again, Samia, for taking the spot here today in the zone. And with that, I want to thank all of the coaches, the participants, to spend the time and provide feedback to our presenters week after week after week. As Jess said before we started the meeting today, she had some major successes. I'm not even wanting to get close to take the credit, but it's the group in itself that encourages us to stretch, to go beyond what we usually think we might be able to do. And I am so grateful to all of you to spend the time every single week. And therefore, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And until then, I wish you a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.